Welcome back to Better Than Bowyer. Before we get into the episode, let's check in on the prediction league. The top four remain unchanged. Rocket, however, moves up one place to join Arcow in joint fourth. UJust falls one place to seventh. Starbar rises one place to eighth and is joined by QCFC Bantam, who jumps 3 places. Rounding out top 10 is River City Bantam, who falls 2 places. The link to the entry thread for the next match is down in the description, as are the rules if you want to get involved for the first time. And with that, let's roll the titles. Game week 30 and we travelled Oldham. Oldham currently 13th but are in better form than we are. So while the table suggests it should be an easy win, the form suggests that Oldham have a real chance here. Anyway, before we look at today's lineups, let's check in on the news since last episode. Ben Richards Everton is finally back from his time out for a certain virus. Provides us with a bit of a selection headache. When we lost him, he was best centre back, with Powdy being a little error prone. However, since he's been given a run of games, Powdy's really found form, and with him and O'Connor building a strong partnership, do we break that up? If we look at his player profile, there are perhaps a couple of things that make decisions slightly easier. First off is my assistant manager's opinion on his current and potential ability. As you can see, they're both considered 3-star. However, if we bring these up from before the virus, it shows a different picture. He was 3.5-star on both. For those who aren't aware, star ratings are based on the quality of the squad. 5-star player for City will be lucky to be 1-star if they join Man United. So the question is the squad got better? And has everyone else adjusted down? We can see the player comparison for centre-back in this box here. So if we bring up the same comparison when he got injured, we'll see that all three were 3.5-star current ability. Now though, O'Connor is 4-star, Powdy stays on 3.5-star, Richard Everton's down to 3, so he has got worse. In fact, Staunton is now close to challenging him, as he has jumped Tyler French as 4th place centre-back, and is only half-star away from Richard Everton. Star ratings are just a guide, mind you. As we see with DeVitt, being better in star rating doesn't mean you actually put in good performances. So let's see how his attributes have been impacted. First, let's look at his technical attributes, which are the ones in this box here. The numbers are all out of 20, grey numbers are poor, white are adequate, yellow good, and orange great. These levels are adjusted by the level being played at, so the thresholds will be higher if we win the Premier League. Some of the attributes have a background. These mean that these attributes are important to that selected position and role. In this case, as a standard centre-back and on defend mentality. If it has an orange background, that means it's fight the first position, and if it's yellow, it's preferred. Now, if we bring up his pre-virus attributes, we see that the key ones of heading, marking, and tackling remain unchanged, as does passing, which is important because we like playing out from the back. In fact, all his technicals remain unchanged. Next up, let's look at his mentals, which are in this box here. Then if we compare it to his previous attributes, we see that all the important ones except bravery have stayed the same. Bravery has gone from 15 to 12. A 3.4 is a fair amount, and bravery for a centre-back is important as you don't want him chickening out with challenges. And finally, we have physical. This is where injuries and illness usually have the biggest impact. They are found in this box here. So when we bring up the old stats, we see he has lost 1 in strength, which is a vital stat. The other 2 have remained the same. He also lost 1 in balance, which, while not essential, does impact how likely he is to stay upright in a challenge. Hopefully some of those attribute losses will be recovered when he's back in full training, and also when he gets some match minutes under his belt. Although he's a long way from match sharpness, so even if we have an injury, he's unlikely to get starts anytime soon. He will most likely play in the reserves, with some minutes off the bench for the first team in next month. With the start of February, it means it's time for January's Player of the Month. Plymouth's Ryan Hardy picked it up, and Plymouth also got 3rd place with George Cooper. Surprisingly, with our patchy form, Callum Cook took 2nd place, with an average rating of 7.54 and 3 goals scored. That's all the news, so back to today's lineups. With no players ruled out, but Pritchard and DeVitt are still doubts. Oldham are without Azakpo and Murray, and Nepomuceno is a doubt. I'm glad all 3 are out because I spent about an hour researching how to say each of their names. Then we recorded this bit about 40 times, and still think I butchered the names. If they were playing, I would have to do so much ADR that this video will be being edited about in a year's time. Interesting, Oldham's manager is Emma Hayes, who in real life is Chelsea's women's manager. I wonder in this universe if there's any more female managers who have been given a chance where they haven't in real life English football. We make 2 changes. Novak drops to the bench with Donaldson replacing him, and Wood comes back in after injury replacing Henley. So that's a starting lineup of McGee in goal, Mellor, O'Connor, Powdy and Wood in defence, Reeves and Cook in midfield, Ismail and Middleton on the wings, and McCartan and Donaldson up top. On the bench, Richard Everton comes in for Staunton. He's joined by O'Donnell, Henley, Taylor, Goldthorpe, Conley and Novak. Oldham are playing the Christmas tree formation. Someone should tell them it's bad luck to keep your tree up after the 12th night. I don't think I've ever played against this formation before, so it should be fun. For team talk, we're going to go with calm and I expect nothing but a win. For defence, I'm going to go with passionate and I have faith. And I think I'll do the same on the midfield and attack as well. Powdy plays it to Wood. Wood looks to drive forward, but his way is blocked. Plays it back to Powdy. Powdy looks up and plays it long. Iacovitti wins the header. McCann to Durnley. Durnley drives forward. Durnley keeps going. Unleashes a shot, but it's well wide. Reeves standing on the free kick. Whips it in. And the ref blows his whistle. He's pointing to the spot. I don't know what he saw, but we'll take it. Let's take a closer look and see if we can work out what went on. The foul is on McCartan, who we've highlighted in centre, and was by Giacovitti. Giacovitti is the one on the left-hand side of the zoomed-in window, the one marking Donaldson. So he's a fair distance away from McCartan. So the free kick will come in. It is actually aimed at Donaldson, so Giacovitti will follow Donaldson. McCartan is being covered by their number 31, who is Wheater. Donaldson steals a march on Giacovitti and is backing away. McCartan has Wheater goal side of him, but is attacking the space, so the gap between the two of them is shrinking. We now have a third defender in the mix, this being the wing-back Mills. Both Donaldson and McCartan jump for the ball. Both miss it. Does McCartan look like maybe he has been nudged? Perhaps, the way his hand is up, but there's no way it's Giacovitti. And either way, it seems very harsh. I'm not even sure the referee has a good line of sight to it. Certainly, if we were to concede the same penalty, I would be very annoyed at it. Let's have a look from the higher view. Maybe it will reveal something we didn't see before. Not really. I still think maybe there is a push, but it's certainly not Giacovitti. Donaldson take it. Takes a few steps back, and then strides forward, and then drills it into the bottom corner. Composed penalty from our top scorer. That's number 15 for the season. He really needed that. He hadn't scored since the Port Vale game at the end of October. He was on fire back then, scoring 2 hat-tricks in that month alone. But it's now been 20 games since his last goal. Admittedly, he had been injured for some of that, but his form had dipped. How did the Wood? Wood plays it inside the Reeves. Reeves looks up, plays it to Cook, choosing to ignore Middleton's run. Cook slides it into Middleton. Middleton tries forward, then slides the ball down the line to Wood on the overlap. Wood is doubled up on, but finds Middleton. Middleton drives into the box, smashed it. Goal was 2-0. It was hit hard, but the keeper was disappointed he was beaten his near post. So as Middleton plays in Wood, Oldham look to have it handled. They've doubled up on him with Missalou and Mills, and that's restricted his passing options significantly. He checks his run, and the Oldham players run past, which then gives him the chance to either play the ball to Donaldson or to Middleton. He chooses Middleton, and Middleton drives into the box. If we pause it here, it looks like he has no options, but he strikes it early and hard, and the keeper gets caught out. Keepers never like getting caught out in the near post, but Middleton hit it so cleanly and hard that the keeper didn't have a chance to react. She's shown here on the sideline view. As it comes in, he strikes the ball, and it's in back of net before the keeper even moves. If we slow it down and do a bit of split screen action, we really can have a look at how little reaction time the goalkeeper really did have. So as Middleton lines up to strike it here, and then hits it really hard, by the time it appears in the goalkeeper's zoomed-in box, he hasn't even had time to set himself, and it just fires past him in a flash. Let's just take one last look at it from overhead, just to appreciate how well he struck that. Throw from Mills, finds Missalou. Missalou back to Mills. Mills crosses. Connor totally misjudges it. Bradford Jackson picks it up, crosses in, and row over the top of the bar. Should have scored. Mills with the cross. Harry deals with it. Middleton nods it onto McCartan. McCartan turns and drives forward. He's into their half. He's still going. He's got options, but decides to go alone. Strikes from the edge of the box. Oh, it's helped the post, was it? So as McCartan breaks, he has options. He has the easy layoff to Ismail, or he has the harder ball looking for Donaldson's run. He chooses to go alone though. Drives towards the box, and then unleashes a brilliant shot that rattles the woodwork. If you watch the slow motion, you can see that he strikes it absolutely perfectly, but it just needs to be like an inch lower. If it had been, it would hit the underside of the bar and gone over the line. As it is, it bounced in front of the line. It's actually suggesting the keeper might have got his hand to it. It hasn't really shown up on any of the replays yet, but let's have a look at this one from behind. So it comes in, and it's, yes, keeper tips it onto the bar. Brilliant save. Makes up for his mistake on the Middleton goal. Middleton driving down the wing, beats the tackle, looks to put the cross in, headed clear by Piergianni, falls to Reeves on the half volley. What a goal! Must be about 30 yards out. So as the cross comes in, it looks like absolute perfect defensive header. You just can't account for something like that. Perfect body shape from Reeves, and it hits the top corner. Keeper was never getting anywhere near it. From the sideline in slow motion, you can really see how perfect that is. I'm pretty sure if we gave him 200 chances to do that again, and he would miss the target every single time. Wheater plays it to Giacovitti. Giacovitti plays it long. Howdy wins the header, but it falls to Manouche. First time ball into Rowe. Rowe attacks the penalty box, tries to place it past McGee, but one not the most convincing stop. McGee deals with it. Despite the score, it's been a fairly even half. It's 8 shots to 7 in Oldham's favour, and 1 clear-cut chance each. They've had 1 half chance, and we've had none, but we've hit the woodwork. Possession-wise, we've had 57% of it. 79% of our passes have been successful. That's a bit low for us, though. We've won 100% of our tackles, and as always, we have struggling winning headers, having won just 55%. The best performers of the match for them is Manouche, and for us it's Reeves. Their worst performer is Wheater, and ours is Ismail. The more I think about it, I really do wonder if DeVitt's struggles have been less about him and more about that right wing position. No matter who we play there, we struggle to get game out of them. Strangely, whoever plays on the left largely actually plays well, despite having the same instructions. We need to work out how to get the right wing to play as well as the left wing. Team analysis-wise, we can see that while O'Connor has won the ball back the most, he's also given it away the most. And while we've had a lot of touches in their box, we are struggling for possession in their half. Both things we need to improve the second half. Team talk-wise, we're going to go with positive, and we'll go, I'm very happy. Woods plays the ball long. He finds Mills, who nods it down to Giacovitti. Giacovitti looks for Rowe. Rowe nods it down to Missalou. Missalou runs with it before playing off to McCann. McCann plays it Durnley. Durnley then back to McCann. McCann then hits it out to Bradford Jackson, who's charging down the wing. Bojack shapes the cross, but no, he pulls back to the edge area. McCann! Blocked by O'Connor. Brave defending. Missalou's play it back to Giacovitti, but it's totally misplaced. Donaldson intercepts it and charges forward, but doesn't have the pace to get away from the defender. Checks his run and then sweeps it cross field. Bojack misdoes to fight the ball and it falls to Mellor's stride. Mellor's into the box, but he hesitates taking a shot. Somehow finds Ismail. Ismail shoots, blocked. Howdy finds Wood. Wood drives forward. Looks up. Switches it to Ismail on the other flank. It's a little wayward and Bojack reads it. Plays it to Durnley. Gets past the challenge. Drives at O'Connor. O'Connor closes him down, but Durnley unleashes a strike. McGee was scrambling, but it was always going wide. Time for some subs. First up, Donaldson. He isn't match fit, so no point risking him. We'll bring Novak on for him. Next up, let's give Richard Everton 15 minutes. Powdy will come off for him. And finally, Reeves is on a yellow, so let's bring on Goldthorpe to aid his development. Middleton whips in the corner, it's headed clear by Wheater. Falls to Bojack, we're in trouble here, as McGee was up for the corner. Goldthorpe tries to make the tackle, but fails. Bojack is breaking forward. Can take the shot whenever he likes, and it's an open goal when he takes it on the edge of the box. And Oldham get a goal back. Luckily, we've had a 3-goal cushion, so we're still okay. And he sorted out his corner routines once and for all. Can't keep having McGee going up. Now, as we watch this again, I was going to give a full analysis of the goal, but as it's pretty much exactly the same as the Crawley goal, let's just have another look at that, as the analysis is almost identical. You can see right away we're in trouble. McGee isn't anywhere near back in his own half, and Taylor and Henry are the last men back, but they're pretty much on the halfway line. As soon as Slate gets on the ball, he can shoot whenever he wants, including hitting him right away before there's any chance of anyone getting back. He actually chooses not to take the early shot, and runs it for quite a distance. Gives himself actually quite a bad angle, and almost lets Taylor and McGee get back to stop him. Sadly, both are a little bit too slow and can't quite get there. Wood collects the ball, shifts on his right foot and brings it over the top of the defensive line. McCartan's in here, he has to score. No, it's straight at the goalkeeper. Middle of the corner, Wheater deals with it again. Finds Hammer. We only have Wood back. He plays it long looking for Smith. Probably the wrong ball as Wood deals with it. Forcing it in Gesson. And Gesson tries into the box. Tries to beat McGee at the near post, but he tips around the post. Wood throws it to Middleton. Middleton turns, pushes forward down the wing, checks his run, sweeps the ball central to Goldthorpe. Goldthorpe lays it off to Ismail. Ismail controls. Hammers it goalwards. What a strike. Keeper didn't stand a chance. Take a Bowserelli. Our 3-goal cushion is back. So at this point, they're well lined up. Middleton's being prevented going down the wing by Engesson. Novak is marked by Mills. Giacovitti as McCartan marked. And Bojack has Ismail covered. The one potential concern for Oldham will be Cook, who's got a bit of space. However, McGann is fairly well positioned to cover that run. And they still have Wheater and Hammer providing additional cover. That leaves just one person, Elliot Goldthorpe, in a semi-dangerous position. Although Oldham would feel they'd have enough players spare to cover that anyway. When the ball comes across Goldthorpe though, he does have some space to work with. He could go for the shot and try and drill it in that top corner, as the keeper may be out of position. Borthwick Jackson, though, has backed off Ismail and given him that yard of space. Goldthorpe plays it off to him. Ismail takes one touch and then fires it past the goalkeeper. You can see how much space Borthwick Jackson backing off was granted Ismail. It's a great touch to control it and then a brilliant strike. The keeper maybe could have done better, but Goldthorpe playing that ball first time meant that he could never get starting position right. It's the touch on the control that really makes the goal. As we see for the sideline view, if it's too heavy or too soft, he will need to make an additional touch. It's perfectly weighted and allows him to strike the ball first time and stay perfectly balanced and ensure it doesn't balloon over the bar. Oldham for free kick. Smith takes it, finds Wheater, but he heads it back to Mills. Mills strikes it, it's blocked by O'Connor. Falls to Cook, who breaks forward. But there goes the final whistle. A good 4-1 win for us. So for team talk, I guess it's just simple going for positive and a very nice victory. It seemed like an easy win, but that second half Oldham were probably the better side. They had 20 shots to our 13. We did have more success hitting the target. We hit the target with 8 of our 13 shots, whereas they hit target 9 of their 20. We also had more clear-cut chances with 3 to their 2. Oldham had more half chances though, with 2 to our 1. We also had more possession, 55%. Our passes were also more successful. 78% to our passes found our target, where only 76% theirs did. Their best player was ex-Man United youngster Cameron Borthwick Jackson. He got 8.3, largely thanks to his 57% completed crosses. Our best player was Middleton. He got an 8.9, which was rounded off by his brilliant goal. Their worst player was Wheater on a 6.4. We really did run their back 3 ragged, so it's no surprise. Our worst player was Novak on a 6.7. 6.7 is still a reasonably good rating. It's a little unfair on him as he came on late. If I was going to pick our worst performer personally, I would have given it to McCartan, who didn't really show up. His form has dipped ever since he turned down the contract offer. Is it just coincidence or is he being distracted? If we look at the individual players' ratings, McGee got 7. 7's the football manager really hard to get for keepers, so that's good. This is despite the mistake, which I would assume was his decision to go up for the corner, which they scored from. The first thing I'm going to do when I finish recording this is scrap my corner routines and rebuild them from scratch. We can't keep having this happen. Mellon made his usual mistakes, only 2 of them mind you, but he did see him get a 6.9. Centre-backs had a solid game with 7 and 7.1 ratings. Wood had a mixed game. 5 mistakes but created 2 chances, made 4 key passes and got an assist. That's why I'm getting 8.4. Reeves got a goal and that got him an 8.3. Cook was a bit below par today and only got 6.9. Did make a key pass however. Isma's goal saved his match and pushed him up to an 8.3, while on the other wing, a chance created, 2 key passes and a goal got Mill to an 8.9. McCartan did absolutely nothing and got 6.8, while Donaldson got 6.9, but he did score a penalty. Sub-wise, Novak came on and didn't have an impact. Richard Everton got some minutes under his belt, replacing Powdy. He was solid, but it was more about the minutes, because coming back from a virus, he needed those minutes. Goldthorpe replaced Reeves, and while he made 2 mistakes, he had a key pass and an assist, and got 6.9. That's about as good as he can do when he only come on with 50 minutes left. Overall, not our best performance this season, but a good professional one. In the other scores, Cambridge scored a 6-minute goal against Colchester, and that was enough for the win. That moves Cambridge up 1 place to 6th, while Colchester dropped 1 place to 5th. Cheltenham got a first half lead against Morecambe, but Morecambe equalised in the 67th minute, so they shared the points. That drops Cheltenham down 2 places to 7th. They are now just hanging on to the last playoff position. Draw moves Morecambe up 1 place to 20th. Considering they looked in trouble, including being bottom at one point, it's been a pretty steady rise up the table. Frawley left it late against Scunthorpe, but a Palmer brace grabbed them the 3 points and leapfrogged them up 2 places to 4th. Grimsby did us a massive favour by beating 2nd place Forest Green, Hanson scoring the only goal of the game in the 64th minute. Our lead is now back up to 5 points and we have a game in hand. Grimsby rose 2 places and are still in contention for that final playoff position. Northampton went to Macclesfield and got a 1-0 win. That gives them a buffer in the relegation scrap. Bottom club Carlisle took an early lead against Mansfield, but Mansfield hit back with 4 goals. When McCall took over, they were near the bottom, maybe even bottom, but with that win, they are now up to 17th. It's been a great turnaround. 3rd place Plymouth hosted Newport and the visitors took the 3 points home with a 1-0 win. This despite having a player sent off late on. Plymouth remained 3rd, but there is just 3 points between the last automatic promotion spot of 3rd and the last playoff position of 7th. There was actually only 6 points between 3rd and missing out on the playoffs completely. Port Vale got 1-0 win against Salford. Salford is still in serious trouble. Leyton Orient travelled to Stevenage and got a 1-0 win, while Swindon hosted 2nd from bottom Exeter and had an easy 2-0 win. That keeps Swindon in the hunt for a playoff position. The Walsall Crew match was eventful. Walsall had Jules sent off on the 30th minute, and in the first half injury time, Crew then took the lead. However, a brace from Hardy in the space of 3 minutes saw Walsall enter the last 5 minutes 2-1 up, and Lean second in the match though rescued a point for Crew. That does hinder Crew's push for the playoffs though. Before we get into the wrap up, there is one thing to note on this screen, that being this box here. This tells us that we're currently 1st and our possible finish positions are between 1st and 21st. If that's right, City fans, with 16 games left, we are safe from relegation. It's a new feeling for you lot, isn't it? We can end this series now, can't we? And just call it a success. Joking aside, it would take a major capitulation to get relegated, and if we don't win the league, we would have to be really disappointed. So our next game is against Mansfield again. I'm seriously getting sick of playing these lot. This one is away at the One Call Stadium. Mansfield will be without Sweeney, who has a hip injury. We were missing Wood as he picked up his 10th yellow card of the season, so misses this in the Grimsby game. Pritchard and Vitt are both still doubtful, but are getting close to being fit. The match will take place on Saturday, 15th of August at 7 PM BST. Take note, this is an hour earlier, so if you're playing Prediction League, you've got an hour less to get your entry in. The link to the entry can be found in the description, as can the rules if you've taken part for the first time. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, then please drop us a like, it's much appreciated. And if you haven't already, why not subscribe and click the notification bell so you're alerted as soon as the next episode goes live. And with that, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.